Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bay Area Memes Podcast. We have a great show lined up for you. Apparently everyone's getting Manny Yekutiel. I don't really know how to pronounce Manny's fucking name, but he's the guy that everyone hates in San Francisco who's running for supervisor. Apparently he's sexually assaulting people, allegedly. He's allegedly trying to grope men's dicks, which I think is very San Francisco. What I like about Manny is he's like gay and pro-genocide. I like that. I like what I like about San Francisco is you can be part of a marginalized group but still want other people to die. I like that. He's pro-Israel, and I think that's beautiful.
Shows duality, right?
It's just dual. Exactly. Manny is the duality of man. Manny won't be happy until he can open the first Jewish glory hole in Gaza, which is what we're going for. That's what Manny's trying to do. But basically what's happening is Manny was probably a favorite to win his district, which is part of the Mission District, I believe, or Noe Valley. I actually don't fucking know because I don't really keep up with this guy that much. Oh, of course it's paywalled. Thank you, SF Standard. Thank you, my friends at the SF Standard, for always paywalling me. Right when I want to talk shit, you want try for $1. I'd rather die. I'd rather die than pay you people fucking anything. I'd literally rather die. By the way, Megan Mitchell, I'm a fan of you. I wish you well. I know you work there. I wish you well. I think you're wonderful. All my friends at the SF Standard, I want you guys to live forever. But no one if I haven't met you, die. That's how it works. So if you work for mainstream media and I don't know you, I don't care if you live or die. If I do know you, you're a friend of the show and I wish you well. And please don't make this awkward next time I see you in person. That's all I ask. But yeah, apparently one thing politicians all over the country have in common right now is that they're just sexually assaulting everybody, which I like. I like that because the Democrats, which I will give credit for. So what I've realized is both political parties in America are racists, but the Democrats have the decency to sexually assault people of age, where the Republicans just fuck kids. So really what we have to do is we have to choose. Do you want someone who rapes adults or rapes children? I personally think it's more ethical to rape an adult, which is why I vote Democrat. Graham Platner, friend of the show, Graham Platner, he's like the most racist communist. I'm not saying he's racist, but he just looks racist. When you look up Graham Platner, you're like, that guy said the N-word a few times, which probably makes him relatable to rural America. He's running as a socialist in rural America, and he has that, like, I say the N-word under my breath during traffic jams if I feel like I've been cut off by a black guy. He just has that look to him. You just look at Graham Platner's face, and you can just hear the N-word being whispered into your ear. But apparently, that's not the only great thing about him. Apparently, he rapes his girlfriends. Now, this has been a problem for Graham Platner because a lot of women have come out and said he's a giant piece of shit. Here's the thing. While that's not okay, I like his policies. Here's the thing. We know the president's a pedophile. You people don't do anything. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at you. Do not get mad at me that the president's a pedophile. You've done nothing. Why can't we have a fucking on the left if you guys can have a pedophile in office? Can I just be honest? If we're like, all of them are raping everybody apparently, but you need to find the rapist that supports you. Which rapist has a better tax policy? Which rapist is better on crime? Which rapist will make your family's life easier? Because that's what American politics is. Everyone's raping everybody, but who's raping people for you? And that's really what it boils down to, the rapist that represents you. In America, we need a rapist that represents you, and Graham Platner is a far superior rapist to the other rapists. He rapes adults. Like, the only thing that makes it illegal is they're not consenting. Children can't consent. Graham Platner has the integrity to rape someone who can say yes or no, which is the integrity of the Democratic Party. That's the real difference. Who you rape and whether or not they can consent. And that's why I say we should keep Graham Platner. I think he's a great man. I'm voting hard for Graham. I'll move to Maine right now to vote for Graham Platner and then leave. I hate this double standard. Republicans they can literally rip a fucking fairy playland and they still win. But Graham Platner raped one woman allegedly, and we have to just throw him away? I don't like this.
Hypocrisy.
The hypocrisy, exactly, Lev. The hypocrisy in this country is disgusting. If the president gets to everyone gets. Pick your fucking poison. Pick a who represents you. Graham Platner, friend of the show. We love Graham Platner. And Scott Wiener, also friend of the show. Also friend of the show. I will not criticize Scott Wiener because Scott Wiener's Jewish, you can't say anything about him without being anti-Semitism. You could say apparently, you know what also annoys me? You could say a lot, but if you say I don't like Scott Wiener's fucking policies, you go directly to jail because you're a Nazi, and that's worse than being a. No, Scott Wiener understands this implicitly, that if you ban basically registered sex offenders, you won't have any politicians. They won't say that, but Scott Wiener understands if you stop people with sexual assault on their record from running for political office, there will literally be no politicians at all. You'll have, I swear to God, if you ban from running this country, you're going to be ran by AI. That's it. You're either getting ran by racists or the robots are coming. This is what America's going to turn into. If we ban registered sex offenders from running for political office in this country, you are opening the door for robots. That's the truth. In America, this is what it is, because there was a law, Assembly Bill 3753, that stated that registered sex offenders should not run for public office. Scott Wiener voted against it. Now, Scott Wiener has been blamed for being a pedophile for a long time, and I defended him because to not defend Scott Wiener means you hate Jews, because Scott Wiener can do nothing wrong. Scott Wiener's been wrongfully called a pedophile and a racist for a long time. I've said those attacks are unfair, those attacks are homophobic, and those are true. Scott Wiener didn't do those things. But when Scott Wiener votes in favor of allowing registered sex offenders to run for political office, he gets a lot harder to defend. But I'm going to do it anyway. Scott Wiener, friend of the show. Listen, how many people could he really rape? How many, what are we talking, 1 or 2, 3, 4? That's not that much. You know how big the world is? Do you know how small of a percentage that number of people are? Very small. But yeah, Scott Wiener understands that if you ban people from office just because they a little bit and were caught and convicted, you won't have any politicians. The difference between unregistered sex offenders and sex offenders in office is just ones that have gotten caught or not. I'm pretty sure everyone in political office who's successful in any meaningful way has somebody, because why else would rich people essentially invest millions of dollars in you to get you to do the things they want? It doesn't make sense. If I am going to give someone millions of dollars to represent my interests, not yours, fuck you, to represent my interests, I need some leverage to assure that you'll do it. If you give someone $1 million, right, wouldn't you want some kind of insurance policy that they're not going to fuck you over?
For sure.
Exactly. Now say that insurance policy is a video of them raping somebody. Isn't that a pretty good insurance policy? It's a decent insurance policy. Is it the most moral insurance policy? No, but it's a decent one.
It works.
And if it's a kid, even better. That's why the Republicans win. They up the stakes by being pedophiles. They get more money and they win elections. Democrats take notes.
Yep.
I'm just going to be honest. If the Democrats want to start winning, they're going to have to start raping kids. I'm sorry. You're not going to satisfy Miriam Adelson if you're not raping kids. Miriam Adelson, also a friend of the show. Miriam Adelson, blonde hair, blue-eyed, pale skin, fucking red face and shit. Indigenous to the Middle East, regardless. What I like about Miriam Adelson is she's incredibly blonde, blue eyes. She looks so fucking Aryan, and then she'll look you dead in the face and say, "I'm from the Middle East." And you know what? That's the kind of delusion that built this country. If you're not completely full of shit to the point you believe your own bullshit and you're willing to fund people who agree with you, then you're not an American. I don't give a fuck if she was born in Israel. She's more American than you. She's buying people to basically not call her a liar and support her delusion. And I like that, Miriam Adelson, in front of the show. But what I'm saying is this. Jeffrey Epstein most likely, allegedly, may have videos of Donald Trump's kids. Donald Trump is now the president of the United States. Put 2 and 2 together. If you want to run this country, you have to be a pedophile. Welcome to America. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at yourself. You let it happen. Donald Trump, best friend of the show. Every time. What I hate about Donald Trump is that he's so fucking funny. He's the worst person alive. He really is. Like fuck the bit for a second. He's like legitimately a bad person. But like, he he's legitimately very funny because life holds no stakes.
No, he has nothing to lose.
He has nothing to lose. He'll say anything to anyone. It doesn't matter. He's richer than you. He's the president. If you piss off Donald Trump enough, he can just bomb you. He really can. Like literally, like Iran was like made AI videos. He's like, how about I nuke your whole fucking country? Want to make fun of me on an AI video? I will kill everybody. I will end the Persian race for your little fucking AI jokes. That's why Donald Trump could be funny. He could say anything to anybody. But speaking of all the reasons to like Scott Wiener, sorry, I went off on a diatribe there. Scott Wiener not only is pro letting sex offenders run for political office, good strategy. He's also pro-Israel. Now, Scott Wiener, because he was pro-Israel, after going to the trans Shabbat, which is what he went to, I actually had a friend at the trans Shabbat. None of the trans Jews wanted Scott Wiener there, but he had to go. It's also just funny just picturing Scott Wiener at a trans Shabbat. Like, can you imagine like an Orthodox rabbi being like, "You're at the trans Shabbat"? They would have a fucking heart attack. Like, it's very funny to like picture these like hardline radical Jews, and then you're like, I'm going to the trans Shabbat. I just can't imagine those two things being okay. So it's funny to envision. So Scott Wiener was at the trans Shabbat, and then he walked through Dolores Park during the trans march. Now, I don't know if you know this about trans people, but most of them are pro-Palestine. Scott Wiener is basically Scott Wiener's my height. He's 6'7", but he's skinny, so he looks like a praying mantis walking around. You cannot miss him. Scott Wiener was walking through Dolores Park when people started yelling at him. People started yelling at him, saying, you know, "Fuck you, you pro-Zionist bitch," and all that type of stuff. And these people, like, these aren't your central casting type of Nazis, okay? The people I saw were mostly, I assume, trans Latino midgets. These aren't the people you'd expect to be Nazis. These aren't the Hitlerian crowd that some people want you to believe it is. You're dealing with trans people. Most of them are of color. Most of them 5'3". These people aren't a threat to Scott Wiener or the Jews, I don't think. However, that didn't stop there from being multiple think pieces saying that the left has an anti-Semitism problem where they casted these little trans midgets as Nazis. I wish it were true, because if the Nazi party primarily consisted of trans midgets, I think the Jews would have fared a lot better. I think they would have fared a lot better, to be honest. I wish the reporting was accurate. A lot less people would have died if the Nazi party was primarily trans midgets. Apparently Hitler had a very small penis, though. That helps me sleep at night. It's also crazy what like a small dick can turn a man into. Like, if your dick's really small, like, honestly, I think a prerequisite for true sociopathy is a small penis. I'm not saying average. I'm not saying if you have a 6-inch penis or whatever, you're going to go out and commit a genocide. But if you're below 4, my eyes on you. If you have a below 4-inch penis, I think the chance of you committing war crimes, a heinous homicide, murder, genocide goes up exponentially. For every 1/4 inch lost, the likelihood of you committing an atrocity increases. That's what I think. I don't know if that's true. I also don't know if Hitler really had a small penis. I've just heard that enough to where scientists were like, we've studied Hitler's penis. Whose job is that, by the way? Who's just sitting there in a lab like, oh, finally got Hitler's cock. Pull out the ruler.
Was it true?
Was it true? You're just some fucking European scientist. You're like, what's my assignment? Well, you're going to measure Hitler's cock. It's not big. Thank God. That would be a lot worse, actually. I'm glad Hitler's penis is small because, well, alleged. I don't know. I haven't seen Hitler's penis. It could be big. And if it was big, that's a huge problem. Because if Hitler has a hog, we've got a lot of problems. We've got a lot of problems. I'm just saying. I'm just glad it's small. Like, imagine if Hitler had like a Ron Jeremy cock. It it just wouldn't be good for propaganda purposes. Like the fact that he had a micropenis, which is apparently true. You can Google this. Hitler had a micropenis according to medical reports. Allegedly. I don't want to get sued by Hitler.
Friend of the show.
I would never besmirch the good name of Adolf. I wouldn't want to ruin his reputation.
With misinformation.
With misinformation. The mainstream news believes, or the mainstream media says, that Hitler had a small cock, and I'm not going to argue with them. Some say, a lot of people say it was 6 inches, but Nazis believe it was 2.7. So that's here nor there. But so Scott Wiener, friend of the show, literally is trying to paint the trans community as fascist. I'm not trying to be a dick. Even if you are a trans fascist, I don't think fascists want you. No disrespect to trans people. I think trans people are great. I have a lot of trans friends. I think they're wonderful, but I don't think the SS is looking for them. I don't think the SS is looking for people taking estrogen shots or testosterone shots. I just don't. I don't think they are. I don't think they are, and I'm sorry. Maybe that's transphobic. Well, I don't think that's transphobic because I'm saying you're not Nazis. I don't think saying you're not Nazis is an insult. Scott Wiener is saying you are Nazis, and I think that's a little far-fetched. Also, about half of the trans people I know are Jewish, and none of them like Scott Wiener, and none of them like Israel. Are they Nazis? Are they trans Jewish Nazis? Is that now a thing? Nothing means anything anymore. The biggest actual Nazi in the world is half Mexican and gay. I don't know what anything means anymore. I really don't. I don't know. Scott Wiener is also pressed in the Mission District by Frisco Lens, friend of the show. Actual friend of the show. I actually like Frisco Lens. Frisco Lens is like a left-wing crash out. And the thing is the most of the left are, including myself, whack-ass white people who will bitch online, but they don't want to go and punch someone in the face for no reason. No, most of the left doesn't want to go to jail. Now, we have a handful of left-wing crash outs who will just run up to people screaming them, calling them a bitch, a pussy, get the fuck out of my face. Like this dude, Scott Wiener, it was so funny. He looked like a deer in headlights. Scott Wiener was sitting at this fucking Mission District fucking eatery or some Mexican restaurant or some shit. And some guy's like, fuck you, pussy. It's free Palestine around here. Say free Palestine, bitch. And he's shoving the camera in his fucking face. And then Scott Wiener just basically just called the cops on him. He didn't hit him. And here's the thing too. That's the thing. It's you can't support a genocide and they get mad when people yell at you. You can't watch some kid with their arm blown off and then go and support the country doing that and then act like a victim when some guy calls you a bitch because of it. You know how crazy that is? You're sitting there in your house. You're just sitting there. Scott Wiener, I just imagine him sitting in his fucking whatever loft or house he has in San Francisco. He's on Instagram. He's seeing real after. Because the thing is, you don't even have to look for the clips out of Palestine. They find you. You'll just be on Instagram and it'll just be oh, someone's doing a silly dance and oh, someone's promoting some facial cream. And then all of a sudden a kid with half his face is blown off as the next reel. And I'm like, I didn't ask for this. And if I'm seeing it and actively trying to avoid it because it's actually bad for your mental health, I know Scott Wiener's seeing it. And I know Scott Wiener knows personally the people who are involved. And I know Scott Wiener is supporting it because literally 4 months after October 7th, when the UN was accusing, credibly was accusing Israel of war crimes, Scott Wiener decided to go to Israel and hang out with the president, Isaac Herzog. Probably a bad decision. Could you imagine how, here's the thing. Fuck the identity politics for a second. Imagine if the Holocaust happened today and Hitler was on podcasts. Because if Germany was popping off today, Hitler would for sure be on podcasts.
Who's you promoting the brand?
They would be. He's like, what's genocide? I don't know what Hitler sounded. What genocide? I don't really know how to do a German accent. But I assume he would be denying genocide and then calling everything fake. But imagine if German politicians with people with German ancestry in American politics were going over to take photos with Hitler as he killed 6 million Jews and then got mad when he got yelled at for it. That's the thing. That's what's actually stunning about this. Listen, if you're going to support genocide, you better be ready for a problem. You can't just go around and talk about erasing an entire group of people and then act like you're about to cry when you're at the Mexican restaurant when someone yells at you. You're not even getting beaten up. Nazis used to get beaten. Some Nazis got killed in America. You're just getting yelled at so people on Instagram. You're literally just on Instagram. Fuck you. You just let them have fun. Like, honestly, a lot of this is to just get the video out. Not saying this is Frisco Lens, but I'm saying a lot of people are pressing people, regardless of the reason, just to get likes and clout. Just take your clout spanking, Scott, without running to the media and telling everyone fucking Frisco Lens is in the Gestapo. I'm sorry. Once again, Frisco Lens front of the show. I don't think the Nazis want Frisco Lens. I don't think the Nazis are recruiting trans people or Latinos from the Mission District. I just don't. I don't think that's their demographic. Like Hitler's in the barrio and he's like, what about the Jews? Like, what are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about? Can we stop, please? Hitler in the Barrio is the name of my record. My rap record coming out soon. Hitler in the Barrio. You look at me, you wouldn't expect that to be an album I'd make, but don't worry, it's coming soon. But yeah, also speaking of complete fucking disasters, not only Scott Wiener, but San Francisco's having a lot of problems lately. San Francisco's having a lot of problems. Daniel Lurie, friend of the show. Friend of the fucking show, Daniel Lurie. There's no one I love more than Daniel Lurie. He's a billionaire. Also, what I hate about Daniel Lurie is I thought he was actually related to the creator of Levi jeans. He's not. This man has no denim in his blood. This man's mom just fucked the right guy and he died, which is a boss move. If I was Mimi Haas, I'd be hyped. Bro, Daniel Lurie has such a charmed life. His mom fucked the right person. And now they're basically just like looped into like Levi jeans royalty. And they basically bought San Francisco. Daniel Lurie's first job is being mayor of a major city. I love rich people. I don't actually love them, but I just love the confidence they have. They're like, everything else worked out. Why wouldn't this? Like this guy literally, like he doesn't, like also I know how fake politics are for the most part. Now there are good politicians who care about things, who write their own legislation, who advocate for things that should be done, like, you know, building affordable housing or getting health care to people, blah, 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 blah. There are politicians who do that. Daniel Lurie is not one of them. Daniel Lurie is a signature signer. He signs his name on legislation produced by rich people to benefit rich people in San Francisco at your expense. And then he stands in front of restaurants. He had nothing to do with opening and just aura farms them. Hey, it's me, Daniel Lurie. He stands in front of places that shouldn't be bragged about. He stood in front of a CVS. And it's like, San Francisco's back. We've got a CVS. This fucking guy stood in front of a Ross on Market Street. He stood in front of the Taco Bell Cantina as proof San Francisco is back. I have never seen a major city on earth say their economic success has been tied to the opening of a fast food restaurant. What the fuck is going on? Anyways, Daniel Lurie's team decided, because apparently no one there knows fucking anything about San Francisco, Daniel Lurie's team decided it was a good idea, a great idea, some would say, a good idea to have a fireworks show at the Golden Gate Bridge, arguably the foggiest fucking place in San Francisco, on 4th of July. If anyone knows anything about San Francisco, summer's cold as fuck and it's hella foggy. Why the fuck would you promote a fireworks show? You're literally just gonna see fucking smoke light up. It looks like flashlight in a stoner's bedroom. What the fuck are we doing? But that's what happened. Daniel Lurie promoted the show. Hella people went to the Golden Gate Bridge. Hella people, because they're fucking morons, took fucking Waymo cars. The Waymo car started crashing out because there's large crowds and fireworks. One of the Waymos even drove over fireworks and literally caught on fire with someone fucking in it, which is stunning. I like when things work well in San Francisco, and Daniel Lurie makes sure things work fucking well. I just can't imagine like them sitting in a room and he's like, hey, what if we have a fireworks show at the Golden Gate Bridge? And no one told him that was fucking stupid. Not a single person told him, you're rich, but you can't buy the weather off, you fucking moron. What are you gonna do? You know what San Francisco should do? Also, no one in San Francisco gives a fuck about America. I'm sorry. No one, the left, the right, no one in the Bay Area gives a fuck about this country. The left-wingers want America to burn, and the centrist, whatever the fuck that means, the corporate centrists and the right-wingers just want to steal your job. They want to create technology to make you homeless. So basically, the centrist mainstream politicians in San Francisco and the people in industry, in tech and things like that, are looking for new, inventive, ingenious ways to impoverish you. What's more patriotic than that? And the left wants San Francisco to burn because it's on a lonely land. Not a single fucking person in San Francisco gives two fucking fucks about this country. We should have a belated 4th of July. We should celebrate in September when it's actually clear. They should celebrate. San Francisco should have a belated 4th of July party. It's a belated birthday party for America. What's more San Francisco than that? We'll get to it when we get to it. Calm down. Wouldn't that be great? That'd also be a huge media thing. 4th of July, not really the climate we're looking for to light fireworks in. We'll get to it when we get to it. Hey, America, you're 250 years and 4 months old. Fireworks, you made it. There you go. Or I think the 4th of July fireworks show in San Francisco, ending the way it did, was deeply poetic because it's kind of the end of the empire. It's kind of the end of America in a real sense. Like China's coming. We've lost another war to Iran. We've lost all our wars. We've killed hell of civilians, but we've lost all our wars. No one can afford to live. San Francisco is the billionaire capital of the world, and 1 in every 100 residents is homeless, literally. So you have more billionaires in San Francisco than anywhere else, and 1 out of every 100 people in San Francisco are literally destitute. They're homeless. They sleep outside. So that's the city. And I think a fireworks show that ends in complete disaster because you can't see the fireworks and you can't leave because you've been blocked by fucking 6,000 fucking autonomous vehicles that don't know fucking which way's up or down is kind of fitting. It's kind of fitting. It's perfect. It's a perfect metaphor for a country that needs to stop. Also, I really hate the term God bless America because there's no country on earth that makes me question the existence of God more than America. If God is blessing America, he might be a dick. If God is hyped, if God is looking at the healthcare statistics, realizing that 50,000 people die every year because they can't afford healthcare in this country, and he's like, man, we got to bless them again, I think he might be an asshole. I think God might be a dick if he's blessing America. I'm just saying. If God's looking at this country with the highest wealth inequality in the Western world, no guaranteed health care, and a country that goes around bombing everybody all the time for no reason other than the fact that they're brown and poor, if he's blessing us, God might be a dick. He might be kind of a dick. God might be a bit of a psychopath. Has anyone read the Old Testament? I haven't. I read a summary. God was wiling in the Old Testament. Everyone was getting murdered. If it's the same guy, it tracks, but I don't like to think like that. I like to think God's like the fucking, the Christian one where he's like, I love everybody. Well, be a good person or the fuck. I'm not Christian, but I think it's cute that he's like, kind of changed. What I think the New Testament is like kind of like the normie version. I think the Old Testament was a little too scary. It's like, you better do this right, I'll fucking kill you. And they're like, yeah, you attract more flies with honey. And so the new version's like, we've got this guy, he's a zombie, but he's really nice.
We got Santa.
You got Santa Claus. You got this guy who literally is a zombie, but he's here to spread love. It's like the only zombie story that's not a horror story. This guy's dead, he comes back, he's like, I love everybody. It's crazy. Or maybe there's like a redemption story. Like this guy was a dick, then he got his ass beat, and then he came back from the dead and he's like, treat everyone with respect. That's fine. It's made up. But I'm just saying, if God likes America in its current iteration, he's probably a piece of shit. Also, why is God a he or a she? I understand if you're like a Jesus person and you think Jesus is the Son of God and that whatever. I don't know what that means really. But like the Spirit, why does the Spirit have a cock? Like I don't, again, you know what I mean? I don't understand why God has to have a gender. I say he because everyone said God, he. What makes him a dude? What makes him a woman? I'm not saying God's a woman. All the feminists are like, go off, shut the fuck up. I'm not saying that either. I don't think God has a gender. Why would a spirit need a gender? Why would a spirit need to be a he or him? That implies that God is fucking. That implies that God has a sexual prowess. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. It could be though. What if you really start critically thinking about God, it gets a little rough. Did he Mary? Because if it was immaculate conception and you got by a spirit that isn't, could she consent? She couldn't. Does God not ask for consent, which may be why he's blessing this country, considering our politicians? Here's the thing. I'm just saying, if God's a good dude or good thing, I don't think he likes America. I don't think God is into the bombing children thing. I also don't think God, in the Abrahamic manifestation, which is Middle Eastern mythology, is into a bunch of white Europeans LARPing. I'm sorry. Islam, Judaism, and Christianity are a Middle Eastern thing. Europe, shut the fuck up. I'm just telling you the truth. All right. It didn't start in Europe. The Holy Land's not Rome. Rome is like, Jesus Christ. I'm going off today. I need to stop. I wish everyone well. Shout out to Rome. Daniel Lurie fucked up the 4th of July. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how I went from Daniel Lurie is too incompetent to run a fireworks show to God's a pedophile. I don't know how we did that. But
it wasn't that hard.
It was kind of crazy. You just didn't see the car going that way. Anyways, it's not all about San Francisco. Okay, it's not all about San Francisco. Things happen in Oakland too. Great things. That's what Oakland's known for. Good things happening. When you tell people you live in Oakland, they look like you fucking lost a best friend. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Shut up. For all you know, I could live in Rockridge. But yeah, so a man was kidnapped by 2 prostitutes in Oakland, and he's claiming to be the victim. I don't know who you are, but you're a fucking liar. You're a lying piece of shit. If you get abducted by 2 prostitutes, you did something wrong. You did something wrong. It's not like you're just driving down E14 and prostitutes like, get him. Like, that's not how it works. There's something you're leaving out, friend. There's something you're leaving out. You're still a friend of the show, and I still like you. But I think you're leaving something out. But according to the Mercury News, a man was kidnapped by 2 sex workers. I like that the media is starting to say sex workers. A man was kidnapped by 2 sex workers who forced him to transfer $1,000. They robbed you for $1,000. You probably owed it to them. You probably tried to skip out. You probably fucked them and said, I lost my wallet, and then they pulled the gun out. That's probably what happened. I don't even know if there was a gun. I just assume. Unless you got fucking strong-armed by 2 women. And if you did, that's even a bigger problem. According to the police, they identified one of the 2 culprits. The March 26th kidnapping occurred near International Boulevard. Can you believe it? Prostitutes International Boulevard. That's news to me.
Shocker.
14th Avenue, International Boulevard, front of the show. A part of Oakland known for open-air prostitution. Oh, now they call it prostitution.
Open air.
Open air. It's just there.
It's the open air.
It's just floating through the air.
It's pleasantly open.
You're just breathing in, buying pussy. Don't breathe too hard. You might get chlamydia. Anyways, Oakland known for having an open-air prostitution markets around the clock, but the victim claimed he was there during early morning hours because he wanted something to eat. Shut the fuck up. You're such a fucking lying piece of shit. Oh my God. Couldn't you imagine getting robbed by 304s, then running to the police, and they're like, well, what were you doing? You're like, I was hungry. Can we stop? Can we fucking stop?
Early morning, 6 a.m.
Yeah, it's 3 a.m, and I was just fiending for a burrito at the taco truck, which I will say, there are phenomenal taco trucks on International Boulevard or East 14th, whatever. I don't care. Phenomenal. Here nor there, though, you're not getting fucking robbed by prostitutes at 3 a.m. because you wanted a burrito at fucking the corner of International and 14th Avenue. Here nor there. One of the women pulled a knife with a 6-inch blade. Shut the fuck up. They don't even have a gun. I gave you the benefit of the doubt and said they robbed you at gunpoint. You give me this bullshit. They pulled out a 6-inch blade and said, Zelle me. They said, Zelle me. Zelle, you got digitally robbed by a woman with a knife? Get the fuck out of my country. Get the fuck out of my country. One of the women pulled a knife with a 6-inch blade and they said, add me on Zelle. Shut up. Add me on Zelle. Then forced him to drive to a grocery outlet. I know the grocery outlet they took him to. They made you go to a grocery outlet? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
They have a list of what they bought.
They're like, exactly. They're like, we're getting hot Cheetos and lots of frozen goods. I have kids. Anyway, One of the women pulled a knife with a 6-inch blade, forced him to Zelle her $1,000, and forced him to drive to a grocery outlet when he attempted to withdraw more money, according to police. Along the way, they stopped at a hotel. Shut the fuck up. You took these bitches to get food, drove to the hotel to fuck, didn't want to pay them, then made a fun little story. That's what you did. You went to International Boulevard. You said, "Are you hungry?" And like, "Let's go to the taco truck." And then he said, "The taco trucks are cash only. I only have Zelle." Would Zelle work? And they said, "I guess, boo." And then you're like, "Are you hungry?" And they said, "Yeah." And they thought you're gonna take him to a restaurant, and they freaked out because you took him to fucking Broadway, damn near North Oakland, to buy frozen pizza. Get the fuck out of my country. These fucking lies. Where he attempted to withdraw more money, according to police. He stopped at a hotel in town, which police identified one of the suspects from fingerprints lifted off the Mazda. You're driving around in a Mazda doing this shit.
Fingerprints from this.
They took the fingerprints from the Mazda. Not even the knife.
How did the police have time for that?
I don't know. Could you imagine? I got my car broken into, my ignition ripped out. They took 400 hours to fucking come. They didn't lift shit. They just told me, "I guess we'll do a case report so your insurance doesn't think you're lying." And then the cop basically called me a for having a Kia. That was my experience. He's like, "You have a Kia in Oakland? Brave man." Shut the fuck up. I wanted a new car, and that was the most affordable one because I'm stupid. Anyways, police identified one of the suspects from fingerprints lifted to the Mazda, which was recovered at the Palms Hotel. We're going to look at the Palms Hotel real quick. What's the Palms Hotel in Oakland? I'm actually not familiar with this place. Yeah, it looks like a piece of shit. It looks like a piece of shit. The Palms Hotel looks like a piece of shit. It looks like the type of place where you'd fuck a prostitute after buying her frozen pizza and then lying and saying she robbed you with a knife. It looks like the type of place you'd do that in. It looks like the type of place you'd fucking lie to the cops about getting robbed because you don't want to pay this bitch.
Yeah, it's on West Mac. It's in hell.
Yeah, it's in West MacArthur, friend of the show. Actually, I don't mind West MacArthur. It really depends on where, because like the Whole Foods is also in West MacArthur.
It's not that part.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, no, I like this. I want to live next door. The Palms Hotel. You know it's good when they have the security gate in front. You know it's a good hotel when the graffiti's on the security gate, and it's next to an auto body shop.
It's almost cheaper than rent.
Yeah, it really is. It's
$81 a night.
Yeah, literally, it is low-key almost cheaper than rent. I'm moving into the Palms Hotel. Take back everything I said. This place is a steal. I like how there's luxury condos across the street from it. I like how in Oakland you can get robbed at knife point, allegedly, because you're a liar, at knife point, allegedly, by 2 sex workers in front of soulless Walnut Creek condos called Art House, but spelled like German, Haus, Art House. What the fuck happened to Oakland? Well, that's not fun. But yeah, you're lying. You shouldn't. Listen, also, if you're hanging out with hoes, you shouldn't be calling police. You should take your L. Take your L. To be fair, though, there's sometimes where you have interactions where you're not really planning for it. Like, I used to live on East 17th Street, okay? I lived on East 17th Street, which is 3 blocks from East 14th. And it was 4 a.m., and for whatever reason, I was like, I need to clean my apartment right fucking now. And I started fucking dumping trash. I was taking the trash out of the dumpster, and there was a guy fucking a prostitute in front of my apartment complex as I was taking it out of the dumpster, and they looked at me like I was the problem. They looked at me like I was in the wrong place. I'm like, I live here and I'm dumping the garbage. You're sucking a cock in front of my apartment, which I'm not even mad about. Just don't act like I'm a dick. I'm not going to not dump the trash because you're getting your cock sucked in front of my apartment complex. I'm going to go about my business. You go about yours. Don't mean mug me with a hard dick. What is wrong with you? This guy's rock hard getting sucked off by some random woman, and they look mad at me. And I know his dick's still hard, which makes it a little weird. Just let me dump the garbage. Pretend I'm not there. Pretend. It's not like I got in the car with them. I was like, what are you guys doing? But anyways, speaking of liars, Gavin Newsom, my friend of the show, Gavin Newsom, what I like about Gavin Newsom is he's literally the entire political spectrum. He will say anything to anyone at any time if he thinks it's politically expedient. His political beliefs are whoever he's in the room with.
In that moment.
In that moment.
Not even past the moment.
Like Gavin Newsom, it literally believes nothing. There's nothing behind his eyes, and that's why I'm going to vote for him.
He's pliable.
Exactly. He's whatever. He's whatever the thing is. Gavin Newsom doesn't give a fuck about anything.
He got action.
He just doesn't care. But Gavin Newsom, this is the true duality of Gavin Newsom and why I love this man. I love him, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I love Gavin Newsom. Friend of the show.
Oh, it's on our Instagram.
Friend of the show, friend of the studio. Gavin Newsom, friend of Grill Studios. He walked up to Lev. He's like, I tried to pardon Mac Dre, right? I tried to pardon him. With his fucking raspy ass voice, looking like a fucking Batman villain. Anyways, Gavin Newsom. This is too funny. I can't make this up. Gavin Newsom is saying we need to pass a billionaire tax in the U.S. because he's running for president and he thinks that's a popular thing, which it is. Here's why that's funny. Gavin, right now in the state of California, we're trying to pass a billionaire tax in the state of California. Gavin Newsom is fighting it. So while Gavin Newsom is fighting the billionaire tax in California, the state he is governor of, he is advocating for it on a national level because he knows it's impossible to pass. These people are demons from hell. Gavin, I love that about him, though. I love that Gavin Newsom just looks you in the eye and feels nothing when he lies right to your face. I've seen great clips of Gavin Newsom. I've seen Gavin Newsom say everything. I don't even know if he does have a political stance. I've seen Gavin Newsom say, I've seen him bend, do a kneel for George Floyd and then personally kick a homeless person out of an encampment.
He's a pure
politician.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. And it's like, he's such a central casting politician. You kind of just hate him no matter what he says to you. You're probably polite to him, but you look at him, you're like, you piece of shit. You don't care about anything. Also, I remember I saw him on a podcast, actually. And it was 2 or 3 black dudes on the podcast and Gavin Newsom.
Well, this might have been his podcast.
It may have been his podcast. Gavin Newsom and his black friends, the show. Gavin Newsom, back to the hood. But they were talking about growing up poor or whatever, right? And Gavin Newsom was trying to relate to them on poverty. And he said, I ate macaroni and cheese growing up. It was the craziest shit. Gavin Newsom grew up in Pack fucking Heights. Gavin Newsom grew up in Pack Heights. It's Billionaires Row. He's never seen macaroni and cheese. He Googled it. The fuck is he talking? What the fuck?
Politicians always fail.
I love that.
They always fail this test.
I love that so much. Or it kind of reminded me when Kamala Harris was faking her accent.
Yep.
Hey, y'all, you're from shut up. You're not even from Oakland. You lived in Berkeley. What are you, a rapper?
They're claiming you have hot sauce in your purse.
I know. That's crazy. I love when politicians are just racist, but in a friendly way.
They're all just do the worst shit.
Hey, listen, I slide on the ops too. Shut the fuck up. Gavin Newsom sliding on the ops. I want to see Gavin Newsom do a drill rap. He's talking about shooting Trump. What's crazy is if he is president, he's really going to kill people. That's what's crazy about bringing president of the United States. You're all competing for murder impunity. Yeah. All of them are bombing people. All of them are bombing kids. And they just sit there and smile at you and tell you, yeah, I'm going to bomb these kids, but we're going to bring those egg prices down too. Can you imagine how crazy of a bargain that is? Listen. We're going to bomb a wedding, but those eggs are going to go from $2.25 a carton to $2.19. We're going to bring the price of eggs down 6 cents, but I really have to bomb this children's school in Iran.
Dude, run the numbers.
Run the numbers up. Over time, that really adds up.
It works out.
It works out. I love Gavin Newsom. He's a good man. Speaking of good men, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, did a hit and run in Napa. I like Paul Pelosi's a friend of the show. I never really thought about Paul Pelosi until that fat dude, kind of shaped like me, broke into Paul Pelosi's house and hit him in the head with a hammer. And then I was stunned by how easy it was.
Yeah.
Just some fat guy who lived in a garage in Richmond can just go to Pack Heights with a hammer and then beat Nancy Pelosi's husband half to death shows me the left isn't trying very hard.
There's not much of a security team.
Yeah, there's not much. It's just some old guy drinking white wine and you hit him in the head with a fucking hammer. And he just walked in and did that. I hang out with leftists, okay? And I am a leftist. It's a disease. Anyways, I hang out with leftists, and all they talk about is if you go far enough left, you get your guns back. And they make all these jokes about killing rich people and stuff. This fat schizophrenic nearly killed Nancy Pelosi's husband without even trying. He's fat as fuck. It's not like the guy's an acrobat. It's not like he's some military trained commando. He just walked in, broke into the house, and hit the guy. He did it in front of the police, too. It was one of the funniest videos of all time. I just love the fact that you're like an old man who's probably drunk off like white wine in Napa, and you hit a car, and you're rich as fuck, but your instinct is still to run. Your instinct is still to run. Like, you have enough money, you have enough political connections to where like any insurance dispute will be mostly meaningless. You're going to get some bad press. You know, Fox News is going to make fun of you. But at the end of the day, you're going to survive the situation. You're going to survive the situation. It's going to be okay. You're going to survive the situation. However, your first instinct is to try to grift and get away. And that's what separates these people from the average person. That's what separates these people from the average person. The average person go, oh, I fucked up. I should remedy that in some way. Politicians, the elite, are like, I need to run right now. Also, why is an old man trying to get into a high-speed runaway off of a crash? Paul Pelosi, how old is Paul fucking Pelosi? Let's look this up real quick. Paul Pelosi, age. Paul Pelosi is 80. Paul Pelosi's fucking 86. This man is still drinking and driving. Paul Pelosi's 86 and he's still drinking and driving. Jesus, what a legend. What could you imagine being 86, drunk, driving and crashing, and then still having the instinct to run? What a fucking legend. And Hammer didn't stop shit. Do you think, though, now that we know that this happened allegedly, do you think the law is going to drop the hammer on him? Do you think the law is going to drop the hammer on him? Do you think Paul Pelosi is going to pay for his misdeeds? Do you think Paul Pelosi is going to pay for his misdeeds? Do you think someone's going to drop the hammer on Paul? That's the real question. That's the real question. I don't think so, because Paul Pelosi is rich as fuck, which, once again, if like the law is made to protect the wealthy. The law is basically there to where if rich people get in trouble, it just becomes a civil matter. You have to pay some fines. You have to pay someone off. You have to sign some contracts. You have to be quiet. You have to sign. It usually comes with an NDA. His wife's retiring from public office. He's rich as fuck. There's really no ramifications. He's going to have to pay a fine. Why the fuck run? Why the fuck was Paul Pelosi running? And where would he run to? You're 86 years old. Where the fuck are you going to go? Makes absolutely no sense. But that's why we love Paul Pelosi. I just love that you hit someone with your car, you're rich as fuck, and there's nothing for you to fucking lose in the situation, and you still try to fuck someone over. That's what I love about politicians and the elite. Their dedication to fuck over other people when nothing for them is actually at stake. They have nothing to gain and nothing to lose in a situation, and they still, by instinct, try to fuck you over. And I think that's beautiful. You know how good Paul Pelosi's insurance is, probably? His car's fully covered. That car he hit, there's probably some scratch or something, or maybe it's way worse. I actually don't know. Let's take a look. He did it to a parked car too. He tried to run off from a parked car and still got caught. I like Paul, dude.
Smashed that back quarter. And just left.
Yeah, literally. He's 86. He's drunk on wine in Napa, because that's what rich people do in Napa. They get drunk on wine. They start driving. They run the whole fucking place. Paul Pelosi was driving his brown convertible Friday in Yountville, a town in the heart of wine country, when he struck a legally parked car. I like how they mentioned it was legally parked. Like, if it was illegally parked, it would have been different. It would have been okay that he smashed into it. If it was legally parked, like, hey, it was a red zone. What do you expect Paul to do? He struck a legally parked car on the side of the road, briefly stopped, and then drove away. And apparently it was major damage, according to the article, which is very funny, because he looked and he went, oh, fuck this, and just drove off. A witness saw the collision and called 911. Shortly after, sheriff deputies found Pelosi with damage to the front of his car on a road roughly a quarter. He didn't even get far. They found him a quarter mile away. They found this man a 5 mile or a 5 minute walk from where it happened. On average, a 1 mile walk is 20 minutes. They found this man in a car a 5 minute walk from where it happened. Paul Pelosi, you need to get better at running. Should have ran back to San Francisco. He did not have alcohol in his system. Lie. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Paul Pelosi may just be old. If you're 86, you shouldn't drive. I think the moment you turn 70, the government should say, hey, you're not driving anymore. And they're going to go, well, that's discrimination. And I'm going to go, yeah, you're right. I think old people have problems, and they shouldn't be driving cars and slamming into people. I know that's probably unfair to some people who can drive, but if you're 70 years old, the likelihood you're going to crash goes up exponentially. Pelosi was not arrested. Of course he wasn't, because no one was injured. The sheriff's office recommended a misdemeanor charge for fleeing the scene of an accident. He got a misdemeanor for ruining someone's car.
Shot leaving the scene. He's got a misdemeanor. Pay a fine. Articles.
Yeah, it's just another dumb thing. California is looking for bilingual staff, but there's a shortage. There's a shortage of bilingual teachers, and they need bilingual teachers because a significant portion of California speaks Spanish as their primary language, which is totally fine. You need bilingual teachers. Totally makes sense. However, there's a shortage, so they're turning to high school students to become teachers. The problem with that is, though, most of these high school students know how much it sucks to be a teacher, and you also don't pay them anything. So why the fuck with these bilingual kids teach in the schools? I think teaching is a cool job. I actually think it's a really dope job, and I think it'd be something that'd be really rewarding if it was like, if people were paid correctly for doing it. But it's not. Every teacher I know looks like they're one bad day from blowing their brains out. Every teacher I know looks like they're either going to kill themselves or fuck the students. Every single teacher I know is one bad day from fucking a student or eating a gun. It doesn't look like a lot of these people, they're making like $60,000 a year, even in places like San Francisco or Oakland where it's hella expensive to live. And you expect people, especially teenagers, high schoolers, whose basically entire existence up until this point is getting a C and punking their teacher. Have you seen the way high school kids treat teachers? Some of them beat their ass. Some of them, they're horrible to the teachers. They rob the teachers, they slap the teachers, they make fun of the teachers, they do everything. Even in the suburbs, they treat the teachers like shit. Why the fuck would anyone want to be a teacher? The only way you make being a teacher attractive is you pay them well, and like we do with our leaders, you let them fuck the kids sometimes. Only sometimes, though. If someone goes a little overboard, they get a misdemeanor. Sometimes they go overboard. No, but seriously, being a teacher looks like a deeply unattractive role, and you shouldn't be leaning on high school students to fill those roles. You should be making the position attractive by paying the teachers adequately. Teachers need to be treated better. Also, America's always talking about we care about the future of our children. Then why do you treat the people that are essentially the primary source of information and knowledge, who are essentially molding the future generations of America, like absolute dog shit? You can if you're a bilingual teacher, you can help the community get treated like shit, or you can help rich white sociopaths berate the maid in their native tongue. Which are you going to do? Which are you going to do? You're going to do the second one.
Because you have to live.
The only way to survive is to help rich sociopaths fuck the world harder. That's what, if you want to make a good living in America, basically help the worst people alive achieve their goals.
That's it.
That's literally it. If you want to do well in this country, because everyone's like, I want to be rich and I want to be a good person, pick one. You can't do both. I'm just saying, you can't do both. You have to pick one. You can't. You can't be. In the words of Howard Zinn, you can't be neutral on a moving train. You're either a demon or you're poor, or you're demon's little helper, which means you're upper middle class. You know those suburbs that aren't really rich, but they're not poor, but they have those big boxy suburban houses filled with people who look like they're one missed mortgage payment away from foreclosure? Those are the people helping rich people. And that's it. They look rich, but they're not. They're leveraged up to their eyeballs. They have hella debt. Those are the people that help the wealthy. But that's just what it is, And speaking of helping the wealthy, FIFA, soccer, kick the ball. We love that. We love the ball games. Belgians sent a warning to the United States after Florian Balogun cleared for play after FIFA red card. So I found this out from my girlfriend, who actually gives a fuck about soccer or football, whatever the fuck. And red card is basically a penalty that stops you from playing the next game. And FIFA issued one because this guy did something illegal in the soccer game. And they've never reversed a decision since 1963. It is taboo in that world. And Donald Trump got on a phone call because they did this against the American team. The U.S. team has this guy, But Florian Balogun was hit with a foul, and then Donald Trump called the president of FIFA, and basically he said, reverse it. And then they reversed it. And then Belgium, who the Belgians are versing the United States. Actually, today, as we're recording this podcast, Belgium, front of the show, Love Waffles, said they sent a warning to the United States. What the fuck does that mean? What in the fuck is Belgium going to do to the United States? Where you can fucking do a waffle embargo? What the fuck could you possibly do to the U.S.? Sent a warning. You better stop. And then what? What are you going to do? Not play the fucking soccer game? What leverage does Belgium have over Donald Trump? Like, the Israelis make sense. They have a video of him fucking a kid or something. But the Belgians? I don't think so. Allegedly fucking a kid. I don't know. Just what I assume. My opinion. Do not sue me. I'll sue you. But like, I just hate that type of shit. And then like people who are into FIFA and people who like want America to lose, like, ooh, they've hit him with the warning. He better stop. Americans better stop being a bad boy. No one can do. America's funding a genocide. Do you think anyone gives a fuck about a soccer game? America's bombing kids and then tweeting about genocide and fucking talking about nuking Iran. No one's scared of Belgium. I wish the U.S. was scared of Belgium. I wish the U.S. was scared of anybody. But apparently they're not. So I don't know what this warning could have been. What the fuck could Belgium say to Donald Trump to make him stop? Nothing. Nothing. It makes no goddamn sense. It's brain dead. You know who else is brain dead? Mitch McConnell. Allegedly.
Fuck.
Allegedly, Mitch McConnell's brain dead. Laura Loomer, friend of the show. Laura Loomer, the final boss of plastic surgery. Woman's going around talking shit about the way other people look. Looks like a fucking Jigsaw character. Allegedly, my opinion. Don't sue me. Laura Loomer said, Mitch McConnell is brain dead, which makes sense. He's 84 years old and he's fucking had cardiac arrest. You lose oxygen to your brain. It's not unbelievable to think he may be brain dead after suffering that. To be fair, though, Mitch McConnell was a giant piece of shit. Mitch McConnell was a giant piece of dog shit. So I honestly don't give a fuck. If he's brain dead, God bless. If he's not, cool. What I do like about it, though, is the Republicans are trying to keep him in office while brain dead. They're not having this brain dead 84-year-old man who suffered cardiac arrest out of office, which makes me believe that being a politician is the most meaningless job in the world. If you can do the job while you're 84 years old, suffering from cardiac arrest and brain death, then maybe anyone can do it. Maybe all being a politician is, if you can do it while brain dead, means you're just a sellout for rich people. You're essentially a prostitute for the wealthy. That's it. So if you can do it while being brain dead, then probably anyone can do it. Speaking of more brain dead people, this one's I want to end the show on a light note. I want to end the show with a woman I deeply admire. I deeply admire. I listen, despite my what I say, I admire innovation. I like bold people who do bold things. I like bold people who do bold things. I'm an American, so I enjoy a scam, especially when it's big. An Idaho mother who said her toddler twins died after vaccinations have been charged with murder. She went, so her kids, she murdered her kids allegedly. Don't sue me. She said that the children she murdered were killed by the COVID vaccines, and she went on the RFK podcast to talk about her experience. This is a truly American story. Because in America, it's not enough to kill your kids. You have to get famous and rich from it too. It's not enough. It's not worth it. To kill your kids and not get rich and famous is a bad investment. Casey Anthony knows. Friend of the show. Casey Anthony.
Friend of the show.
You know how you know men are pieces of shit? When Casey Anthony was like, popping up on TikTok, they're like, man, I'd fuck the shit out of her. It's like, she murdered her kids. You're like looking at a woman who murdered her kids, like, my dick could fix her. Like, what the fuck is wrong with our gender? It's a terrible situation. This woman, though, Andrea Shaw, who's accused of suffocating her 18-month-old twins in May 2025 on 2 counts of first-degree murder. So she has suffocated her 2 kids, they're twins, which is also very stupid, but deeply American. Because when you die, you go to the coroner's office, and the coroner examines the body. And when they examine the body, they determine a cause of death.
Right.
And if the cause of death isn't some kind of freak allergic reaction to the vaccine, they're going to know you're lying. You fucking moron. She allegedly killed her kids. And then she went on a press run. What is more American than murdering your kids and going on a press tour?
Absolutely not.
To talk about how you're the victim. Mm-hmm. To talk about how you're the victim to a Kennedy. To a man who's mentally ill, whose whole family was allegedly killed by the CIA. To tell them that the pharmaceutical industry killed your kids. It's beautiful. It's an American story. But while appearing last year on an internet show produced by Children's Health Defense, an anti-vaccine group founded by Health and Human Services, I also like this. This was founded by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy. Shaw said her twins died after getting vaccinated. Now that's not necessarily a lie. They may have been vaccinated. She just killed them afterwards. So that's called a sin of omission. If she said, my kids were vaccinated, now they are dead, that's not technically telling a lie.
And that's what got her on the show.
And that's what got her on the show. What I like about the right wing, and this is something I really admire about the right wing, if you are working against their ops, they will literally put anyone on television. You could literally be a schizophrenic crackhead and said, Obama raped me. And they're like, get this man on Fox News immediately. Give this man a microphone right now. We need the world to hear his truth. Which is what I like about the right wing. Which is like, if you want to be a grifter, truly, be a right wing grifter. Here's the thing. And this is true for white people, but it's especially true for black and brown people. If you're a black and brown person and have no problem throwing your community under the bus, be a right wing grifter. Candace Owens, hello. Here's the thing. When it comes to fucking up the vibes. Also, this woman should be thrown into the jail if she did what she's accused of doing. Andrea Shaw, friend of the show. If she did what they accuse her of, they should throw her into the jail. But yeah. Anyways.
To end on a light note.
To end on a light note. If you're gonna, to end on a light note, I want to keep the show light. That's what I'm known for. That's what I've got my audience for my friendly takes and family-friendly views. That's what they know me for. My bit of advice. If you're going to kill children, at least be quiet. Thank you. Good night.